But when it comes to mowing and all this, you know, I've been seeing videos, y'all know. I've been seeing videos of where people are just freaking obsessed with the Google reviews. Obsessed. Like, I've never seen it. I mean, maybe I'm just naive, man, you know, or just old school or whatever. I don't see what the Google reviews. The Google reviews don't make or break me. I mean, why is that, Ray? Because all that's out of my control, and I don't. I'm not even on Google. I'm just saying, I don't. I'm not. I've never. You know, I've never finished the Google profile. I don't have a website. I'm just pointing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do those things. I'm just pointing out that it's not a mandatory thing. When you hear people come on here and they're big talking about, you know, their Google reviews and their this and their that and their website and all that, you ain't got to have all that, man. You don't have to have all that to have a successful business. Now, does it help? Yeah, I'm sure. And if I were starting over again, I guess I would have to look at that. But I've never been one to go deep into the Google review stuff, because it's just not that important to me. It doesn't change how I do a job. It doesn't change. Either you're gonna do a good job or you're not. You know, and to be dependent, I mean, I've seen, I mean, some of these guys are really, especially newer guys, they're really freaking, the whole business is predicated on the Google review. Hell no, man. And then the other part of their business is predicated on door hangers and all that. And there's nothing wrong with all that, right? But for the guys that are just starting out that want to get into this, don't get scared when you hear guys talking about all that stuff, because at the end of the day, it's well, it's about doing good quality work and doing what you say. So all that will, you know, come in time. Now, I'm gonna tell you why I have not really pushed the Google review and all that advertising hardcore. Let me tell you why, and it's real simple. Because I don't want to be overwhelmed with work. That's why. Because I've always been afraid that if I really push the marketing on Google, that I would be overwhelmed with work, and I don't want that. There's some guys that are starting a business now. Ain't gonna go into no names, but they're not ready to be on the Google reviews and the impact of Google and advertising like that. You know, one guy just started. I think he had a pressure washer business or something. He just started, and he's relying on Google reviews. You know, I just don't. I don't think that all that's necessary. And the thing about it is, once you start advertising with Google and everything, what happens if somebody drops 40 customers in your lap? What happens if you get so busy that you're not ready? Well, that's a good place to be in, but it's not in my area, because then you burn bridges, because you can't fulfill the order, you can't fulfill the obligation of, you know, taking on an additional 20 customers. Then what do you do? Well, I mean, you got to have the ability to do the work. You got to have the ability to be able to do all that work and make money at it. You got to make money at it too. And if you're in year one or so, got to kind of weigh all that and hope that you don't get overwhelmed. But I guess this guy right here, unbelievable, he is weed eating all of that. I would put a mower on that so damn quick, dude. There ain't no way I'd be weed eating that, man. But you gotta, I don't know, man. I don't know what I would do. Even with all the experience I got, if somebody dropped 40 customers on me right now in 2 days, I would be overwhelmed. Because you're not ready, right? You ain't ready, right? Yeah, but I'm more ready than somebody that just started a month ago. I mean, you got to have the ability to do the work that you're advertising that you can do. You know, and you can't get the work and then try to figure all that out. You gotta figure all that out and then get the work. You gotta be in the right spot. If you can only haul one mower on a little trailer, then you're capped. You can't do much more. You know, if you got one mower, one trailer, one truck, and we all start somewhere, and you all of a sudden you got, you come in, you organically get 15, 20 customers, and then all of a sudden, you get 30 in 2 days. What are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna hire somebody, Ray. That ain't even gonna be enough though, because those 30 at this point in the season are gonna want their grass cut right now. And then out of those 30, how much time are you gonna waste, going and looking, blah, 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 and not get them? So out of the 30 or so that got you coming and looking, you might get, say you get 15 of them. We'll just say that, and that's being generous. Say you get 15 of them. Then what? You don't have the ability to haul 2 mowers. You got to have the ability to haul 2 mowers to even think about being really efficient. I mean, there are guys that haul 1 mower around and they make good money, but they ain't hiring a bunch of employees and all that, and they're not doing 6-acre cuts either. So you want to have the ability to do everything, if you ask me. And you don't wait until the customers are calling you for you to go figure out what equipment you need. You need to have all that equipment on standby, so when they do call you, you're ready to go. You're in control of everything. Any other way, you're not in control of nothing. You're not running nothing. One guy was saying, he just started, he's talking about buying a 72-inch mower. I wouldn't do that. You can't even haul 2 mowers, so why would you get a 72? Well, you got to know a little bit about mowers in order to do that. And apparently he doesn't know a lot about lawnmowers and what it takes. A 72-inch mower is, for the most part, I'll say it, for the most part, too big for smaller properties. Even the ones that don't have a gate. It's just too big. The 72-inch mowers tend to dip like a wings on an airplane. When you stop, it'll do that. It'll dip down. When you take off, it'll dip down. When you turn, it'll dip down. And you're not going to put that on the mom and pop yards, but you can put that 52 you got on there. If you bought a 60-inch mower, what I told dude is I'd buy a 60-inch mower. But before you do any of that, you got to have the ability to haul 2 mowers. There's no point buying a mower if you don't have the ability to haul it. You can have the nicest mower in the world, but then, today we're doing the 6-acre cut, so I can only haul the 72-inch mower. And that eliminates you having help out there, because if only 1 mower going on a 6-acre cut, it ain't worth having 2 people out there. It ain't worth having another guy. There's not enough weed eating. There's not enough, for 2 hours or whatever. But if you have 2 mowers, now and you can get them to the job. Now you got a 52 and a 60. 72 is going to be too big for anybody starting out in this game if they're not, unless they got a fat contract for doing big fields and stuff. There ain't no way I would do that. And you can go all the way to the other end of the spectrum and talk about, you know, a 36-inch stand-on mower. I think Dude was mentioning that. And I'm like, there's no way that I would do that. I would not buy a 36-inch stand-on mower when I'm taking on 6-acre cuts. If I'm going to take, because the price point of a 36-inch stand-on mower is pretty expensive for the amount of production you can get. Now, if your specialty is small yards and back gates and all, okay, I would probably still buy me a commercial 30, because I'm going to hire somebody to if I got enough small stuff, I'm going to hire somebody. And a commercial 30 is a fraction of the price, maybe not quite as fast, but for the jobs that I'm willing to take on, it'll get in any gate. It doesn't break the bank. It ain't costing $8,000. It's costing, you know, $2,000, you know, and if you're a contractor out here, I mean, you know, I don't know, I got a disclaimer and all that, but if you're trying to make the most money, you ain't trying to get up in them little backyards. Just saying. I'm just saying, because there ain't no money in it. Nothing compared to what you can get if you got a more production mower. But before you do anything with the mowers, you got to have a trailer that can haul it. If you don't have a trailer that can haul 2 mowers, what's the point in having 2 mowers? There's none. Well, Ray, he can take the 72 and go do that yard, then you can come back home and grab it. It's a whole lot of money put in the street for one cut. A whole lot of effort and all to make top dollar. I like top dollar out here, man. I don't know. That's just me. And to make top dollar, you gotta squeeze your way into the right spot, whether it be equipment, customers, and well, the ability to haul the mowers, 2 mowers is well, that's critical. You know, I don't even think, unless I just had to, I don't think I would even start a lawn care business if I didn't at least have a 12-foot trailer. But you know, if you had to, to get a bigger trailer to haul 2 mowers and not break the bank, and I know I'm gonna get a little blowback on this because I don't particularly like single axle trailers, but if you had to get a rig, meaning a trailer that don't break the bank until you figure out exactly what your clientele base is. You don't even know what your clientele base is yet, because you don't even have, you don't have 20 lawns yet. So how do you know what equipment to buy? Don't buy equipment if you don't know what your target market is or what you're actually getting. It doesn't matter what your target is. It doesn't matter. It's what you're actually getting. And to me, a 14-foot single axle trailer is perfectly legit, and it doesn't break the bank. You're talking, and then I would trade any little trailer in, and then have the ability, a 14-foot trailer have the ability, just a single axle, just enough to hold 2 mowers, man. Got to be able to haul 2 mowers if you're gonna be doing big cuts, because the mower's gonna break down on you. It's gonna really, and you don't want to wait till the mower breaks down, and then what? You got to plan for things way ahead of time. That's why I think that guy up there in Kentucky's catching a little bit of hell, because he's not really planning like somebody that's trying to really do anything. Got to plan. You got to have the right stuff, man. That's just my take, man. But anyway, y'all, I'm picking up Cam. Deuces.